Hey guys, welcome back to another Reddit video. If you do enjoy this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now to the story. My husband came to terms with his death and I just can't deal with it. I, 42F, have been married to my husband, 38M, for over 10 years. We met when I was 24 in a club. Ever since I knew him, he could never accept any health damages. He fell from a ladder from 2 meters or so, went into hospital just because I insisted. When he was 25 he started to complain about his knee hurting really badly when he bends it. Took me 5 years to send him to the doctor over this. He ended up having surgery, after which he was supposed to rest for 2 months. After 2 weeks he was back at working out and jogging. 2 years ago he was diagnosed with leukemia. He straightway stopped smoking after the diagnosis and worked out even more than before, so he boosts his health. It didn't help at all, and last month his health went downhill. He got all pale, he got weak to the point I had to help him upstairs on a few occasions. 2 days ago while dining, our daughter, 15F, asked him if he could take her hiking to the Alps next year. He just said something in the lines of, "I'm not sure if I'll still be around by that time." I still held my cool. After that our daughters left to go to sleep and I blew up on him. I just started screaming. I can't even remember what exactly it was anymore. Something like, "From the moment I met you you never gave in to any health condition, you always overcame everything, and now from out of nowhere you accept your own death." Normally he would raise his voice at me saying, "We are not animals in this house, so we will not scream at each other." But not then. He just glared into the corner of the kitchen and said nothing. And when his eyes started watering my heart shattered into thousands of pieces. In that moment I knew I have only a short time left with the love of my life, and I will forever regret blowing up at him. Edit. I apologized for everything. He told me I didn't even had to, that it's only natural and that stages of grief are a real thing. To all the people saying he deserved it because he was smoking, I hope you never have to go through something like this. At first I didn't even want to edit anything here, but seeing how many people showed their sympathy I needed to say thank you to all of you. We had a long talk today and I decided to arrange bucket list days for him, so he enjoys the last few months he has. Update. My husband came to terms with his death and I just can't deal with it. I haven't really had the intention to post on here again, but my therapist thought it might be therapeutic to do so since it helped the last time. My kids are at my late husband's parents, so I've had some wine to give me the will to actually write this down. As you might have guessed from my previous text, it happened. My husband died about half a year ago and I miss him so damn much. I've wanted to thank all of you who suggested grief counseling. Me, my late husband and our 2 daughters attended about 2 months after my original post, and without it we would most likely be more destroyed than we already are. I also wanted to thank the person who suggested for my husband to film videos for our daughter's life goals. We together made some videos for their graduation, marriage, first child and other major life goals. It actually took us much longer than it could have because it was just too hard for us. The realization of the fact our life together was over was just so hard. If the text doesn't make sense, I'm very sorry. I'm crying with every word I write and I take breaks, so the text might be unreadable. I will try to correct any mistakes. Now to the happy part. Before the love of my life got really bad we tried to do as many things from his bucket list as possible. I've never thought I could enjoy so many things I wouldn't care for otherwise, like MMA. It was his passion for such a long time, but he never actually saw any fight in person. We finally went to the castle in the center of our city for the first time after living here for 6 years. Never had the time. Now we had all the time in the world for ourselves and our kids. We traveled a lot. We went to see the Stonehenge, such a curious sight. After that we went to see the fjords, which fascinated him so much. We went to see the northern lights too. It was just so beautiful. We couldn't stay long anywhere so we could get back for my husband's therapy and girls had to go to school. We also got to see the Colosseum and some more great sights. I hated myself for quite some time after the events of my last post. When he was still alive he mentioned it only once, told me to not to worry about it, that it was just the silent thoughts said out loud, that he doesn't want me to ever worry about it again or he'll haunt me. Some of you might think that it was not nice, but we used to have a specific humor and we have one rule in our house. As long as it's funny it's allowed. Also if the person who is the butt of the joke finds it funny it's okay. He got really bad about a month before passing. I mean, when we were traveling he was in a wheelchair, but that was only for the long walks, but the last month he already couldn't move without it. I hated to see him in that state, it hurt both me and our daughters, it was just so painful, and I also saw his pain in his eyes. He was so angry that he couldn't go by his own way. Euthanasia is not legal where we live. He always was pro, I didn't used to be, but now when I saw in how much pain he was I would do anything just for him to feel better. He deserved to choose his own way out. What he didn't deserve was spend his last days in pain or under drugs. His last moments our whole family was with him, with my parents and in-laws too. In one of his last moments conscious he told us all how much he loves us. I tried to be so strong for our girls, and I stayed together until after his funeral. After seeing him lifeless I broke down knowing that it's all over, but at least he didn't feel any more pain. I will never forget you, Patrick. I will forever love you. You were my light in this dark world, you were the fire that kept me from freezing. Now I will try to be as good of a support you were to me, to our daughters who love you so much, miss you.